Well, this was an interesting one. I had a 2008 Saturn Astra, which is a West German vehicle sold at domestic GM dealerships. And what I had was the car was towed in from the dealership, and they were not able to program, the key on this vehicle, so they had cut a replacement key, and the original key, the customer had only had one key that came with the vehicle, and that broke. So now she's stuck with a car that doesn't start, and the immobilizer on this vehicle was not allowing it to start. So I tried to follow service information, and probably if I would have known exactly what they were saying, I probably would have been able to get this through. But where I kind of got stuck was on step number 2, which is ignition on, select security access, security on the tech line terminal, and follow the on-screen instructions. Wasn't really sure what they were talking about there, but here, let me show you how to add a key to a Saturn. So what I'm going to do is, I've already got this open. I'm going to, start the security access, and this is exactly what they were talking about. So you have to have an active TIST web subscription. Some aftermarket tools might be able to work on this, but I called a couple of locksmiths because I wanted to get the car out of here today. And one guy came by, he wasn't able to get this done. And he called somebody else that should have been able to do it, but he said, "What kind of car?" "No, we don't work on those." So this is where you're going to be doing this. And we're going to select Tech 2 because I'm using a Tech 2 emulator, Tech to Win. Click Next. And this was a step that I was neglecting to do, and that's, part of the reason why I was going to let this car go and not, program it. But I had to, call GM's, tech line on this, or through the aftermarket AC Delco. And once this completes, then I'm going to have access to the CIM and be able to program this key. And what happens, you'll also need the code. Here, let me grab the paperwork. You'll need a security code from the dealership, which is stored with the key code information. And called them up. I got that information. I have a good relationship with one dealership, and their main concern is somebody's not trying to steal this vehicle. So, and as soon as this finishes, then I'll be able to access this car or the CIM. But yeah, this is just a really strange little vehicle. I had one of them, another customer that had. The sunroof was leaking on her going down the left-hand side and filling up the inside of the car. And not surprising, but none of the parts that you needed to fix that were available anymore. So she ended up, getting rid of the vehicle. So I've got the Tech 2 hooked up, or actually an MDI. And we've got a 2008, and going to want to go to F4 body, and it's not the immobilizer where you're going to want to go. You want to go to the CIM, which is the steering column module, and the ignition's on. So I'm going to press confirm. Okay, and actually I'm going to have to back out of this because, I'm doing this. Well, sorry about that. Okay, so now I see the candy module is attached. 2008. I'm going to confirm the ignition is on, waiting for data. And I'm going to go to programming. One thing that's kind of interesting, using the Saturn Astra software, you can't use the mouse to click on this. You actually have to use the arrows on the right-hand side to get it to move. Whereas on the regular GM software, it will work by either here or using the right-hand side controls. So this is where you would be doing programming of keys or whatever you're going to be doing. But what I selected was, at first, I wanted to erase transponder and remote keys, and then I went to program transponder and remote key. So I'm not going to go ahead and do it again, but this is the method that you have to do. So what you're going to be doing or where I missed a step was you have to go to security and start the download, and this is using factory software. If there's something available aftermarket, I'm not aware of that, but I had a hard time, and the dealership did as well. And given that Saturn hasn't been around for a good 8 years, I'm not doubting they had a problem, because it was actually at a Chevrolet dealership. So thanks for watching. Any comments, leave them below, and if you like this, subscribe. Thank you.